Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome everybody to episode 150 of Dude and a Monkey. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever I am joined by...
Ian Norring, hello.
So we have been on 150. Ian, you haven't split the screen yet, have you?
What?
Have you split the screen
it does it automatically.
Oh, does it automatically? Does it automatically? Very good. Yes. Episode 150,
and you're going to see this, and it's not going to be at all. It did last time.
It did last time, yes. We are going to bring you two reviews that we think perfectly sum up 150 episodes of Dude and a Monkey, in the sense that we're going to bring you Hail Caesar, and then we're going to bring you a review of London Has Fallen, the sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, a film which we both actually really enjoyed, and surprise, surprise, a lot of other people really, really enjoyed. We're also going to chat some trailers. There's been a few out over this week, and some what we've been watching. I know I've got a few to chat about. And then I think we've got a couple of questions to answer. So is there anything that's happened this week that you feel we need to talk about before we get into trailers here?
I will say, I think I might scrap Let's Forget Physical.
All right.
Because I've taken the decision that unless something is never going to go down in price, like Star Wars The Force Awakens, I'm not buying anything over a $5 on iTunes anymore. If I want to watch a film, I will rent the fucker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already had that anyway. I won't pay, I will occasionally, Saturday nights, I will occasionally pay like $7.99, but my usual limit is $4.99 for stuff on iTunes, just because the way I look at it is $9.99 is a lot to pay for something that I might watch twice.
And especially when I feel 4K is coming down the pike. And I feel like by the next time I want to watch this film, it's going to be in a superior format.
Well, that was it. I was tempted with... I didn't get it in the end. I was tempted to get Spectre. But I wasn't going to buy it on its own at $9.99. I was going to buy all four at $24.99. But only if I could get a £25 voucher with a 20% off, so it would knock them down to 20 quid.
Yeah.
That's four films, essentially at $5 each. That is how I was logicising it in my own head.
I'll send you 25 quid iTunes credit for 20 quid.
But I don't know what I want to know. That's the thing. I looked at it and thought, but the thing is, I own Casino Royale 3 times on Blu-ray for some reason. And one of those Blu-rays I don't want to get rid of because it's a really nice looking steelbook. And I'm getting rid of a lot of my Blu-rays, but I've decided... I was going to get rid of the steelbooks, and I decided, do you know what? I don't want to, and I don't need the money.
Sorry, by the way, I'm just gonna own this hair. I don't know how stupid it looks. I'm just gonna own it.
It doesn't look bad. I'm wearing a reverse baseball cap, so I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm a fan. Sorry, go on.
So I decided I probably wasn't going to get it now. But yeah, I think what I bought one film this week. I bought Walk the Line. I wanted to watch Walk the Line. I do have Walk the Line on Blu-ray, but I thought, you know what? From now on, what I'm doing is if it's $4.99, I'll buy it. So I had a check, and it came up at $4.99. Yeah. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to buy Walk the Line.
See, I bought Turbo Kid, and then the following Monday it turned up on UK Netflix. And it's like, fuck's sake. But I'm fine paying a $5 for Turbo Kid because I really liked Turbo Kid.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. I mean, I think I rated Turbo Kid from US iTunes when it first came out for, I think, $6.99.
Yeah.
So I was going to buy it, and I thought, hang on a minute, it's on Netflix. And I get the feeling that's one of those films that's never not going to be on Netflix.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, not to get off on a tangent, but, it is what it is. It's really interesting that, like, this over the last couple of days, it's been announced the Criterion's coming to the UK.
Yeah.
And it's just like, has that ship slightly sailed?
I don't think it has. What I think as will happen is I think that physical media will become the home of the collector, essentially. So you'll get things like Criteria will still kind of flourish. They wouldn't be launching in this country if they didn't
think they had a market.
It didn't have a market there. And I think probably the way they're judging that market is they're looking at it and going, well, how many of our things sell on eBay, on Amazon and things like that? How many people are importing to the UK? And they looked at those numbers and thought, well, hang on a minute, those numbers make sense. It does seem strange that they're launching now, but I think it's because they're looking at it and saying, well, hang on a minute. People, yes, the market is shrinking for DVD and Blu-ray sales, but I don't think the market is shrinking for DVD and Blu-ray sales of a company like that. I think the market is shrinking for DVD and Blu-ray sales for things, for instance, like Spectre, or maybe not Spectre as such, but for instance, When London Has Fallen comes out on Blu-ray. Unless they release that just before Father's Day or something like that, it's probably going to do mediocre business. But shitloads of people watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I was rather taken aback by that announcement. I like that they say it's going to be like specially selected US titles coming to the UK. No, it's going to be all the ones you can get a license for are going to be the ones you bring over. Don't.
Which is the same as what Arrow have done with Arrow US.
Yeah, I mean, just own it. It's like, in the end of the day, Blowout, which the Criterion is lovely. The cover is still my favourite DVD and Blu-ray cover of all time. That fucker is...
It's a lovely...
It's amazing. That fucker, Arrow, have got the license to that. They probably paid a good bit of money doing their extras for it.
Yep.
So...
it's a great release.
It's a good disc. Are they going to get let Criterion take the license? Fuck off, are they?
Yeah.
Like BFI, Seven Samurai, and like all the Kurosawa they've got. It would be nice if they'd sub-license it to Criterion. Will they? Probably not, because they've got their own Blu-ray releases. I agree with what you're saying about the market shrinking, but not for the collector. But then again, you, me, Jord, used to be massive Blu-ray collectors.
Yeah.
And we've dropped off a fucking cliff the last year or so.
Absolutely. I mean, I would say, it's not, the studios aren't going to look at it and go, oh my God, we've lost these three guys. But the fact is that between the three of us, you've probably dropped 300 to 500 Blu-rays a year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like trying to big us up in the slightest. All I'm saying is that if people if you told me 5 years ago that I would be giving up Blu-ray for a format which is quantifiably lesser, I'd punch you in the mouth.
Well, that's the weird thing is I actually did watch Big Trouble in Little China this week, and I bought it on iTunes. It was $4.99, and despite the fact that I have it on Blu-ray, on the Steelbook, the Arrow release, I thought, do you know what? $4.99. That's worth it to have the convenience of just having it on there. For if I ever get rid of the Steelbook, which I won't. It's a really nice looking Steelbook, and there's a shitload of great features on that as well that I will at some point hopefully get to watch. But then I watched it this week, and I did think, ooh, this isn't as nice looking as my Blu-ray.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But then I was looking at it going, this isn't as nice looking as my Blu-ray. However, it's a fuckload better looking than my old DVD.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. The buying is going to be much lesser until 4K comes out. Once 4K's out, and I know that's that for a good long while, then, that's fine. But, it's interesting. But anyway, moving on. So, right. let's forget physical, I think, is going to be kaput. But, fuck it. I don't owe anyone yet. I don't owe you a thing.
Fucking thing. Right, so what trailers have you been watching this week, Ian?
What have I been watching? I watched the first kind of rough trailer for Noel Clarke's latest.
He's still around?
Yeah. Which is the End of His Hood trilogy.
So he's actually done that.
Yeah, he's going back to the well, like no one's business. Brotherhood,
okay.
And it doesn't look like the film. It doesn't look like my thing.
Bruv. A lot of bruv in it.
There's even a joke in it, actually, where like he calls someone blood, and then some younger guys just laugh at him. And it's like, what do they call them now, then?
I don't fucking know.
There you go. But, there you go. Trailer for Finding Dory, which looks really, 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 really similar to Finding Nemo.
Let's be honest, it looks fucking boring if you've seen Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that one. I'll be taking Lottie to see it, and if she just points at the screen and goes, fish, fish, blue, 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 blue for 90 minutes, that'll do.
Fair enough.
But I mean, I don't know. They've got a decent enough track record with sequels, not perfect, but we'll see. We'll see. That's it, apart from the big one for me.
I think, what did I catch? I pretty much agree with those. Apart from, like you said, there's the big one as well that came out. There was another one I think I watched, but I can't remember what it is now.
Actually, do you know what? I saw one in the cinema. I think before Hail Caesar, Criminal. Which
is that the Kevin Costner one?
Yeah, man. Now what?
I've not seen it, but I've seen it cropping up in a few places.
This looks bloody mental.
Yeah.
So it's like Ryan Reynolds. It seems like he might be in a bit of a cameo-y role. He plays this like agent guy who's killed, and the memories and skills of him are implanted into Kevin Costner. So then it's Kevin Costner going around trying to like solve some shit while having flashes of Gal Gadot, while Gary Oldman and Tommy Lee Jones run around. It just like, what the what?
It's a little bit like, hang on a minute, this movie's out in a couple of weeks. How has this only just arrived on everyone's radar?
Yeah, like I genuinely was like, I've never, ever, ever heard of this in my life.
I saw it cropping up in a few sort of places and thought, is this a Kevin Costner TV? Sure, what is it? And then I eventually looked at it and was like, oh no, it's a movie. Oh, all right, fine, cool, man. I'm all right with that.
Oh, by the way, I'm loving IMDb. Credited cast sorted by IMDb star meter.
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, Alice Eve, Gary Oldman is less of a star than Alice Eve.
You know why? Because she half got her boobs out in Star Trek.
Yeah. What? The what? Robert Davi is like 14th.
Well,
IMDb star meter.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Shit it off. Looks like a Netflix watch.
Yes, it sounds like a Netflix watch. Absolutely. I got the trailer for Rock the Casbah. Bill Murray plays a rock manager
Criminal, directed by the guy who directed The Iceman.
I didn't mind The Iceman.
Neither did I.
We kind of said that was one of the most 7 out of 10 films that we'd ever seen.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, sorry for interrupting, but yeah.
Rock the Casbah. Bill Murray playing a rock music promoter / manager who goes out to Afghanistan to promote an artist played by, guess what? Zooey Deschanel is playing a singer. Well, fucking blow me away.
Stretchy.
And it has been a while since she's actually done much apart from that painfully irritating TV show she's in. A lot of people seem to crop up in this. A lot of people. A lot seems to be going on. It's not going to be a cinema one. It will probably be a Netflix watch or a rent. And then, of course, we've got the big one of the week. Go on, then.
Ghostbusters looks fine.
Ghostbusters. Wait, one more before that. The trailer for Nina. Everybody's pissed off because Zoe Saldana had to go a little bit blacker.
Okay.
Have you not seen this?
No.
Zoe Saldana's playing Nina in a Nina Simone biopic.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
So, because she's wearing makeup to make her appear a tinge darker, everyone's up in arms and saying, well, why couldn't they just got a darker black person? And it's a bit like, hang on a minute. You really are fucking splitting hairs now.
Yeah.
Zoe Saldana's official response to it so far has been, fuck off.
Yeah, good for her.
As was David O'Hellier's as well. So he pretty much said the same thing because he's in it as well. It looks all right. It'll be quite interesting because Nina Simone led quite an interesting life. But yes, Ghostbusters. It looks really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how that trailer makes people worried at all unless they were already worried to begin with.
Even that, I don't know. Because I thought, when I saw the trailer, I sat down to watch it. I waited and watched it when I got home on my TV, so I wasn't watching it on my phone or a computer or anything like that. And when it finished, the first thing I did was I'm going to watch that again, because it got me right. If you told me that was on now and I could go and watch it in an hour, I would do that.
Yep.
And I thought, well, everyone's going to be like that. That's going to be the thing that turns everyone onto it. And then I messaged you guys on the WhatsApp, and everyone was like, yep, absolutely well on board. And I started sort of looking the next day on social sort of media, and everyone was like, oh, it looks shit. Oh, it looks boring, it looks dull. That looks crap. I thought, oh, you bunch of miserable bastards.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've got a nice varied cast of characters. The effects look fine. Like, there are people criticising the visual effects because they don't look as good as the original. I mean, in the end of the day, fuck off. The original had the dogs, which don't hold up now. They might with your nostalgia eyes. They don't now. Yes, there's a lot of CG, but it also had Kristen Wiig getting a lot of very physical green shit chucked at her.
Yeah.
That looks fine. Leslie Jones looks alright. Kate McKinnon looks interesting. I like the amount of sassiness she has.
Kate McKinnon, I'm not gonna lie. Kate McKinnon licking the gun gave me a boner.
Yeah, I mean, there's totally that. But she looks. I like that she kind of seems like sassy, but also maybe like a bit stonery as well. Like that.
I like the fact that I laughed several times at a 2.5 minute trailer. I laughed several times, and by the end of that trailer, I went, right, none of those characters are going to annoy me. The only thing that vaguely worries me, and I am absolutely 100% up for this movie, the only one thing that makes me go, that's a little bit worrying, is the fact that they're all ex-Saturday Night Live people. And there's points where Saturday Night Live people, when they're all together in a film, the ad-libbing gets out of control, and it ends up being, okay, this is funny for you guys and everybody else on set around you, but everybody who's watching it in a cinema has stopped laughing.
No, I think Feig has enough of directorial control, whereas like with Judd Apatow, it does kind of feel like he just lets the camera roll. I think Feig probably does run quite a tight ship. His films are long, but they don't feel like they're just improv off.
No, certainly over as he's gone through in his sort of past 2 or 3 films. Yeah, he's got a lot tighter, and he does seem to be nip that in the bud quite well actually on that. So yeah, so Ghostbusters, I am absolutely well up for it. I think it's great. Looks great.
Yeah, why the fuck not? Bang up for it.
Cool, right, we shall step into our first main review, which is of the Coen Brothers. Long awaited, I think you can actually say, because I remember first reading about this nearly 10 years ago. Hail Caesar, starring Josh Brolin, George Clooney, Alden Ehrenreich, Ralph Fiennes, Jonah Hill, Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton, Channing Tatum, and then a whole host of cameos kind of crop up, from Dolph Lundgren to Clancy Brown to Christopher Lambert. So, set in the 50s, Josh Brolin plays Eddie Mannix, who essentially is like a studio fixer there to right the wrongs and keep the press away from the stars and make sure everything runs smoothly. And essentially the film is like a day in the life of Eddie Mannix. Remember, we are all spoilers all the time, so it's all of these little bits that he's got to sort out in the day, the same day where he's got to decide whether or not he wants to take another job or keep this job going. Ian, Hail Caesar, what do you think?
Yeah, I really liked it. It's very episodic, and I think the story only just comes together in the end. But the episodes I enjoyed very, very much, and I think the sum of its parts were kind of more than the whole. Weirdly, it's not vintage Coen's. I just don't think the story is as well put together as a lot of their films, but I still think that an 8.5, 9 out of 10 film generally, it might not be vintage Coen's, but it's still better than pretty much anything else any other directors are doing. So I had a really good time with it. I was rocking a beast of a hangover when a beast of a hangover when I saw this. Let's just say I don't think I'm going to be showing my face in Viva Brazil in Cardiff again anytime soon. It soothed my hangover very well. I was in the right frame of mind for it and enjoyed it immensely. You, Mark?
I watched it on a Sunday evening, and I hadn't been watching a film on a Sunday evening in a fair old while. I think the last time I watched on a Sunday evening was Apocalypse Now, but not in 1979. I watched it a few years ago, about 2009. I really, really liked it. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic fun, which I think is what the whole point of the film is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun.
It's not trying to tell you a fucking thing.
No,
this film, no, yeah,
absolutely. I think what's incredible is it's the whole conceivement of the film is as impressive as the actual film itself. So that's what the Coen Brothers have always given us. They've always given us these wonderful kind of visuals and these wonderful ideas where it takes you somewhere and you go, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. That literally is not what I was expecting. But the brilliant way the Coen Brothers do it is it feels natural to the piece. It never feels like they're taking the piss out of the audience or that they're trying just to appear clever or smart or smug. It always just appears like this is the way the story appeared to them. So when you've got a bunch of communist writers rowing Channing Tatum out into the middle of the sea, and then you're going, what's going on here? And he's stood with a dog, and then all of a sudden a Soviet submarine appears. You go, fine, fair fucking play, fair fucking play, and and there's wonderful moments like that. It's great the fact that the Coens, I think, are one of those few kind of directors out there that quite literally can get people to just come, really turn up for a day, do their bits, and then piss off. Mm. You know, so Tilda Swinton, you'd be very surprised if she was on set for more than a day or two.
Yeah, I mean, Frances McDormand, it looks like they did that bit in a day. Yeah, Jonah Hill in a day.
Yeah. And that's how they get it. But it's also, as well, it isn't like they don't present these people like, look, it's Jonah Hill, it's Jonah Hill, it's Jonah Hill. Mm. He doesn't get like a big laugh. He just is doing something, and that's it. Mm. And then the wonderful way that stuff happens off screen in Coen Brothers movies. They have a lot happen off screen. So Scott Johansson and Jonah Hill, what happens with them happens off screen.
Yeah.
And I thought it worked. It worked really well. I've seen a lot of people call it kind of bitty, which I find a little bit like, well, it depends on which way you look at it, because I think
I find it bitty, just to say, yeah.
I didn't find it bitty because I think it depends on which story you kind of focus on. Because I've heard somebody say that read a review of it that said it was very bitty and it got off track a lot, and I thought, hang on a minute. This reviewer, and I can't remember who it was, I can't remember which magazine it was from, this reviewer thinks that the story of the film is the kidnapping of George Clooney, and it's not. That's just one of the threads that runs through Eddie Mannix's story.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is about Eddie Mannix, I agree with that, but... And I don't have a problem with this, because I know the Coens are just... it's a very affectionate ode to... And of course, they were kind of like pointing out the ridiculousness of Hollywood and cinema.
Yeah.
But the Channing Tatum dance sequence is not needed. The Scarlett Johansson's like swim sequence is not needed. But they are there and they are enjoyable.
Yeah.
But if you weren't getting on with the film, I could see how those things would cause a problem for you. I don't think it's a film that is subjectively really, really, really good.
But what I'd say there is if you've seen the trailer and you've got this movie and then you go, oh, well, that bit didn't, I don't think they needed that bit, I don't think they needed that bit. It's a bit like, but hang on a minute, you watched the trailer, right? Yeah.
I mean, like, I think the day we start, like, I don't know, the day we start judging a film based of what was on the trailer is the day we start deluding ourselves. But it's just...
But if you didn't, I think if you didn't have those
I can see where people are coming from. I
genuinely...
don't care, though.
I genuinely can't, to be honest. I think if you take those bits out of it, you lose a lot of the fun of the film.
Well, yeah, you lose a lot of the fun of the film, but do you lose any of the meat of the film?
I think the meat of the film is the ride it takes you on, and I think part of those is the enjoyment of the ride, the fucking the loops that you go around. You don't fucking need it to make the ride. What is it? But it makes it a lot more enjoyable.
It's a ride which is very, very fun, but it's only there to please itself. It's very self-indulgent. It's just I like the Coen brothers being self-indulgent, whereas if I was someone who maybe wasn't as tuned in with the Coen brothers, then maybe I could see, I'm not feeling this.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I think it all depends on where you sort of. I think with the Coens on where you kind of your Coenist lies.
Which is why I'm saying objectively.
Yeah.
If you were like just being boring and writing out in black and white, this bit added something, this bit didn't, then I think you would come along and say, nah, it's not that great. But the actual what is in that content and how it is shot and how it sounds and whatnot. I mean, I saw somebody tweet saying that they thought it was a really ugly looking film, and it's just, where is what? I mean, that's the thing. I like the elements, but as I say, I think the individual bits are better than the whole.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm still really looking forward to watching it again, though. That's the thing.
Absolutely, I'd agree with that in the fact that, but every so often I think the Coens do this. Every so often the Coens do a film where the destination isn't fucking important. It is quite literally what is happening on the way to get in there. Yeah, and occasionally you have people get them and go, A Serious Man was one of those. And people went, well, nothing happens. It's like, no, you spent all of your time waiting to see what happened, that you didn't actually appreciate what was happening.
Yeah.
And I think that the Coens do that a lot. Big Lebowski's the same.
Yeah.
You know, people go, well, what happened? Nothing happened. It's like, loads happened. Well, what was the story? The story was a guy just wanted to know why somebody peed on his rug, and he wanted a rug back. He wanted his rug back. That's it. What happened? It doesn't matter. What is fun is what happens along the way.
Yeah, I mean,
and occasionally you get that's what the Coen Brothers. I mean, my personal sort of favourite Coen Brothers movies are when they're doing that kind of thing. When they're doing the more comedy element. I still like the serious Coen Brothers movies. Absolutely, I do. But the ones that I will go to more often will be things like your Hail Caesars, like your Raising Arizona, or Hudsucker Proxy, or things like that. I will go to them more often than I will sort of No Country for Old Men or Miller's Crossing and things like that. And it's not necessarily saying that they're better movies, even though some of them are, I think. But what I will say is they're a lot more kind of enjoyable to watch in sense of, right, sit down. And it's strange that you've got filmmakers like the Coens that have got the reputation and that they absolutely deserve. But when you look at it, their output is split down the middle between quite sort of serious films, but then quite basic, pure entertainment films.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, that's it. I mean, you know, they won their loads of Oscars like 10 years ago, and it's kind of they're the Coens. They can kind of, up to a certain budget, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Well, people will star in their films, and they're a better quality at present time. They are a better quality Woody Allen.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But I think the thing is as well, the Coens don't need budgets of 50 million. 100 million. They don't need that.
No, this fucking cost like 30 something, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was now at 25 million, which when you think about it, 25 million, and that's a movie that stars the people it stars, is incredible. Performances of Hobie was fantastic. He was just a real kind of, I mean, he was the all-American boy, but there was not a shred of kind of nastiness or anything to him. He was just really, really nice to everybody and just tried to do the right thing at all times. I thought he was a fantastic, every time he was on screen, he just kind of, you went, this has got brilliant.
22 million, sorry. Yeah.
22 million.
It's made 46 so far, worldwide, so...
Insane, that, isn't it?
It will make some money, but it's probably quite glad that the production budget was quite small. But yeah, like you say, considering the stars, it is mental that it's. I have to wonder how much Josh Brolin can actually command these days.
I wouldn't say it's going to be a great deal, but I think the fact is Brolin and Clooney will work for scale when they're working for the Coens, because they'll just work for the Coens, because Clooney loves working with the Coens, and Brolin owes, let's be honest, he owes his current career to the Coens, because he was on a highway to nowhere before he did No Country for Old Men, and since then, he's put out some great output out of it. It gave him a new lease of life that he very nearly fucking ruined. But then he's cropped up recently, the past couple of years, things like Sicario, where he's been very, very good.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, anyway, the fucking box office is a fairly boring conversation in the end of the day, so maybe I should move on. But yeah, no, I mean, I find it very insubstantial, but that's what it's going for. It's not like it was aiming for something else and missed it. It just, it very much is what it is. It does its job well. And it gets the fuck out of Dodge. I'm looking forward to watching it again on Netflix in a couple of years.
I'm looking forward to watching it. I went with Becky, and when we came out, she actually said, I'm tempted to just go straight back on. I'm just going to tweet and go back in at the 9:30 screening now as well.
Oh, fair enough.
She absolutely adored it. I think that I feel sorry for anybody that watches this movie and doesn't come out of it smiling, to be honest.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's definitely not shit. It's an absolute barrel of laughs, and I loved it. I'm really looking forward to rewatching it.
Yeah, good on you. Yeah, I mean, I definitely not shit. I'm obviously not as high on it as you are, but I still had a really, really good time.
Cool. Right, Ian, give us some of your what you've been watching this past week.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just run through them, because I'll be honest with you, bud. I'm feeling a bit knackered, so I'm probably not going to be wanting this to go on much beyond 9:30 if possible.
Yeah,
but fuck it, why not? It Follows. I did It Follows again. Yeah, I liked it a bit better. I think without the deafening, it's the best horror film since 3 months ago talk. I think it's better in isolation. Disaster Pieces score. There's a couple of cues that they repeat that bug me, but the main theme is awesome. Like the main theme in it is amazing. And the direction, I think there's some really well done, like, single bits. Like the opening scene with the camera revolving round. I think once you know what is actually going on there and like what the camera is trying to do, I think it's more interesting. And I had a more interesting time looking in the background, watching for when people were walking towards people in certain scenes.
Mm.
And I think Micah Monroe's very good in it as well. The rest of the cast are really leaden, and there's a kind of like it's an old school word, but there's a fecklessness about everybody in the film that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The whole thing feels like a film where the director would be pissed off that you're calling his film a horror movie. It's like when Greg Araki pulled Kaboom from Fright Fest.
Yeah, because he said it wasn't a horror movie, which it wasn't a horror movie.
Yeah, which to be fair, Kaboom wasn't. But he was just like, I don't want my film playing this type of festival. And it almost feels like the director would be one of those types of people. I mean, maybe he's not, but I don't know. It feels like it's trying to be more. And yet, the internal logic of the film still does my nut. That film... I was having an argument with Brad on Facebook, and after a couple of exchanges, I just went, do you know what? I can't be arsed, Brad. I just can't be arsed. And he was like, well, don't you want to have a discussion? That's what like friends do. And it was like, well, it would basically be we'd argue at each other, neither of us would agree, and that would be a complete waste of time and effort. There you go. And this is the thing, it does feel like with It Follows, you're either having people who agree with you, which is always nice for the ego, or people who just disagree because they have their own viewpoints. It's the main crux of the argument is that, okay, the guy sets up the rules of the film and then the film proceeds to break them, but who's to say that he knows the rules? That's the argument. Now, my counter-argument to that would be, why fucking bother in the first place then? Just have this unknowable force where there are no rules, we don't know what to expect. Wouldn't that be way scarier?
My issue with the film was, from what I remember, it was sort of when I watched it, my issue with the film was that it bored me, to be honest. And throughout the entirety, I was just going, all of these people are stupid, and not even horror stupid, just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
The swimming pool scene particularly annoyed me.
Yeah, I mean, the swimming pool scene is ridiculous. And again, there's an argument that says, well, they're stupid teenagers, that's what they do.
Right.
The counter-argument to that would be, well, it's not very fucking fun to watch stupid teenagers be stupid, is it? And
the other counter-argument to that would be, there's stupid, and then there's that fucking stupid.
Watching that scene again, the placing like a load of electrical items and dangerous things around the pool and proceeding to do fuck all with them.
Yeah.
And then the thing just chucks them all in the pool. Come on, that sounds stupid, and yet that is what happens. I don't think I'm actually like...
No.
I don't think I'm changing anything there.
It just felt a bit student filmy to me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, it's pretty good looking. Like I say, I do. The score in places I think is really effective, and I don't know. I liked it marginally better. It just, I'd say you can have arguments about the film's internal logic until the cows come home. This is my opinion on it. I've watched it twice. I do get that there are counter-arguments, but I think you can counter those arguments. So, I don't know. It's a bit of a lightning rod film. And, I mean, like, I think we're probably going to review The Witch next week, aren't we?
Probably, yeah, because there's fuck all else out.
Yeah, so I'm really worried The Witch is going to be another one. I'm really, really worried it is.
I'm already at the place where I'm going into it going...
We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued. The goat's intriguing me. Black Phillip or whatever its name is.
I've seen nothing about it. I'm going in seeing nothing about it because I think that is better for me.
There's a goat called Black Phillip. I like the fact that the goat is called Black Phillip. I'm intrigued to see what that's about.
Then if there's a goat in it, it's already got me mildly intrigued.
Yeah, so there you go. So It Follows. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. It's not going to cost you anything if you got an Amazon Prime subscription. I'll just rattle through mine if that's all right, dude.
Yeah, cool.
Miller's Crossing is great.
Yeah.
It's really top draw stuff. And I did a Van Damme double bill.
Oh fuck! I knew I meant to watch something. I was going to watch Kickboxer.
Yeah,
I forgot.
So I watched Kickboxer.
What else did you watch?
In Hell.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Is it? Well, you'll come in a second.
Right. So yeah, they're both on Netflix UK. So yeah, I've never seen either of them. So Kickboxer, yeah. The fights choreographed and directed by Jean-Claude Van Damme, which was interesting. Yeah, ridiculous, awesome. The opening sequence, the opening title sequence is a montage where one of the things is Jean-Claude Van Damme and his brother arrive in like a red light district. His brother runs off, hooks up with some woman, and Jean-Claude Van Damme's just there smiling at him, going, "Oh, that silly Billy." Oh,
he kind of goes.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's a video casting bonus there, guys. That's exactly what he does. It's amazing. And yeah, I mean the story, for what it's worth, Van Damme is his brother's coach. His brother gets fucked up in a fight by Typo, playing seemingly himself, and
he's
a guy who
that is a complete fuck up in the credits.
Really?
Complete fuck up in the credits.
You know what? I was thinking
the guy
his character at one point rapes Van Damme's girlfriend, and I was thinking, holy shit, this guy is putting his own name on this character?
No, it's a casting mistake. It's a credits mistake. The real guy's name is Michel Quissy.
Bless him.
Who's been in other things, but yeah, they fucked up on when they were writing the credits down. And it got repeated, so the guy who wrote the credits just left it like that, and so it seemed for ages like he was playing himself, and he's not. The guy's been in a few of the films. What else has he been in? He was also in Bloodsport.
Okay.
And he was in the sequel to Kickboxer 2. And he was in Lionheart, which is also known as AWOL, Absent Without Leave. So a lot of Van Damme films.
Yeah, nice. I mean, he looks evil. He's very, very intimidating.
But he's thigh-ing the building down.
Oh my god, yeah, and just the kind of the banister starts crumbling. Holy shit! I mean, yeah, it's really, really fun. It's retarded. I mean, the bit where Van Damme's training, and then suddenly he can hear the warriors of old battling in the temple. And then, at the end, he's fighting, and he's having these flashbacks to the warriors fighting in the temple. It's quite something. There's something more silly than that in Hell. So yeah, Kickboxer. I mean, the acting's atrocious, but the action, yeah. Oh my god, the drunk Van Damme dancing scene has to be seen to be believed, guys. It's on Netflix UK. It's like an hour and a half long. It is worth your time with a couple of beers. It's great fun.
Yeah.
So In Hell, directed by Ringo Lam.
There's also going to be a remake of Kickboxer coming out soon, actually.
Oh yeah, who's in that?
David Bautista, Van Damme, Gina Carano, and a few other people are in it.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah, for sure. Also, by the way, I rewatched The Martian. That film's brilliant. I kind of take back my complaints about the level of threat. The middle of the film's got plenty of threat, and by the end, it's just a bit of a joy. So 5 out of 5 might have actually been in my top 10 at the end of the year if I wasn't such a dick. So In Hell, yeah. Van Damme's wife is murdered. Van Damme murders the murderer, and is sentenced for life without parole in a Russian prison, where he is basically made to fight to survive, essentially. There's slight spoilers for In Hell. There are scenes through the film where Van Damme's in solitary confinement and he's visited by a moth. And he's having these conversations with a moth.
A moth as in just a moth?
A moth.
Flying moth? Or a moth like the fawn in Pan's Labyrinth?
No, just a flying moth.
Cool.
And he's going where did you come from? And kind of chatting to it. And in a later scene, the moth kind of like turns into his dead wife. And
please tell me he fucks them off.
No,
damn it!
Nice. And she's like saying, you know, you come back to me, you're fading away, and stop being this horrible person, and you know, like live for me, and so yeah, you've got that, and it's this whole kind of like a man should like be true to himself and not succumb to base instincts and try and be better than the shit around him, while at the same time very much indulging in Van Damme kicking the living shit out of people. It's a very, very confused film. And it looks like it was shot in like in a place where human labour laws no meaning. It just looks muddy. The whole thing looks really muddy, and then it ended. I really don't have that much to say about it. I don't know. In hell, I finished watching it like on the train home, and I've already forgotten it. But Van Damme's wife moth is of interest.
Yeah. Van Damme seems like one of those guys where I don't think a single one of his films should be more than $3.99 on iTunes, but I guarantee they all are.
Yeah. That's about right. Kickboxer's the recommendation out of those two.
I've seen Kickboxer a number of times.
Yeah, I could see me watching that again. But yeah, over to you, dude.
All right, cool. I rewatched No Country for Old Men, which is great. It's a fantastic movie. It really is. But it is one that I've watched it 3 times now, and I think it'll be a long time before I watch it again. Mm-hmm. But it is very, very good. I rewatched Walk the Line, not watched that for a few years, got it off $4.99 off iTunes. It really is a fantastic biopic of that era of Johnny Cash's life. Joaquin Phoenix is fantastic, Reese Witherspoon is very good. It's a weird film in the fact that it's quite joyous in the fact that in the music, and the fact that you've got Joaquin Phoenix and Reese Witherspoon are both doing the singing themselves. But what they've kind of done, which was quite clever, is go, sing as you're going to sing it. Don't try and do impressions of them. So it does work out slightly different, and the arrangements have been ever so slightly changed to suit them, which works really well. It's a fantastic soundtrack. I really like Walk the Line. And then I rewatched Trespass. I'm just going to rattle through these, by the way.
Yeah, sure, man.
I rewatched Trespass, the Walter Hill 1992 film.
Okay, I've never seen this. Go on.
Oh, I will give you a double bill then. I will give you a double bill that will make a Friday or a Saturday night for you. It's a double bill of I watched these films. I rated these 2 films at the same time, and I watched them on the same night. And I remember watching it because they are like genius bedfellows. Trespass, the Walter Hill movie, which stars, and by the way, Ry Cooder still does the score for it.
Ooh.
Bill Paxton, William Sadler, but it's also got Ice-T, Ice Cube, Devereaux Williams, and Tommy Lister Jr.
Bloody hell!
Story is
what is this on something?
It's on Netflix UK.
Oh, shit it off! Right, that's being added to my list now. Yep.
Bill Paxton and William Sadler play firemen. They are entering a fire when I think it's Richard Jenkins actually plays him. When a man hands them a map, they find out that this is a map, and it's a treasure map to where a load of stolen Catholic gold is. So they piss off to this derelict building with this map to find this gold, and then happen to witness a gang murder committed by...
I'm literally, sorry, I am paying attention. I'm literally adding it to my list. By
Ice-T. So they end up essentially holding siege within this building as they're trying to still find this treasure as Ice-T, Ice Cube, the rest of the crew are trying to get them. But their only currency they've got is the room that they are in. There is one door into, and they have kidnapped Ice-T's brother, and essentially have him spread across the door. So if they break down the door, they rip his arms off. If they shoot through the door, they shoot him to death.
Bloody hell, right. Okay.
And it's a Walter Hill film. It's fantastic. And it should be watched, followed by 1992's Judgment Night. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah,
Stephen Dorff, Cuba Gooding Jr., and also got Dennis Leary in it, and Jeremy Piven, I believe, are in Judgment Night. Yeah, those two are perfect bedfellows. They make a great double bill.
I need me some Judgment Night. Is it on Netflix?
I'm not sure.
Motherfucker, I don't think it is.
It'll be out there somewhere, is what I'll say. Yeah. I also rewatched Bridesmaids, which was the only Paul Feig movie that I've not got on with. I liked it a lot more. Okay. So far as to say that before I would have said, well, if we mentioned Bridesmaid, I would have gone, it's a piece of self-indulgent shit. I'm now at the point of going, do you know what? I liked it. Yeah, I admit I was wrong. I liked it. It's nowhere near as good as anything he's done since, and there's still points where you go, that doesn't work. There's a lot more jokes in that film that just don't land, but then there's an awful lot of fun in it. A great moment is Melissa McCarthy going past with all the dogs in her car. It is a great moment in that film.
Nice, yes.
So yeah, really, really, really enjoyed that. Actually, I think with that movie, you shave 10 minutes off that movie, and you've got a great movie. And then I watched Punch Drunk Love last night. Been meaning to rewatch it for quite a while, and finally got around to it last night. And it's always seen as kind of like the lesser of all of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies. And then I watched it last night.
We all know the answer to that is The Master, but okay.
Yeah, and I thought, hang on a minute, how is this the lesser? Is it because it's half an hour shorter than all of his other movies? Is it because it's got Adam Sandler in it? It's a great movie, and it's a fucking weird movie as well. It's a very strange up and down movie, but really, really fantastic. I thought it's only the second or third time I've seen it, I think, and was again quite taken with it, and kind of feel a little bit shitty for the fact that it's taken me kind of this long. So I watched it at the cinema, and I think I watched it when it first came out on DVD when I bought it, so it must be sort of like 12, 13 years since I last watched it. Yeah, and it's fantastic. It really is a brilliant film.
Yeah, man. So, yeah. I'm very taken with Punch Drunk Love. I don't know, the way that the scenes kind of all like slightly blur, and the slight like sleepiness of the whole thing, and that film's great.
Yes. So right, we'll get into our second feature review, which there might not be as much to talk about as Hail Caesar, so it's a good job we did it second. London's Fallen, sequel to Antoine Fuqua's Olympus Has Fallen. Gerard Butler is back as what's he called again? He's got a right.
Mike Banning.
Mike Banning, that's it. Aaron Eckhart is back as the president. Morgan Freeman's also there. Melissa Leo's here. Angela Bassett's here. Radha Mitchell's here, and a whole bunch of Hey, who the hell's that? Are also there. Story for this is. Everybody's going to a state funeral in London because the British Prime Minister has died in possibly mysterious circumstances. So everybody has to go to London at short notice, and it's essentially described as a clusterfuck of security issues and what have you. It turns out the whole thing is a trap by an arms dealer who is trying to get back at the Western world for bombing his daughter's wedding in trying to kill him. So you get essentially Gerard Butler versus just an unreal amount of terrorists, a seriously massive amount of terrorists. And along the way, you get so much violence and so much politically incorrectness. It is untrue. Ian, London Has Fallen. What did you think?
I had a perfectly good time with this. I genuinely, I do not see where all the sniffiness is coming from. I want to say right now, the Fuckheadistan line is a problem.
Yeah. Yes and no.
Yeah, yes and no. Now, the thing is, I've seen people say, oh, it's all people with dark skin who are the terrorists. No,
it's not.
No, there are plenty of people, of white people shooting at him. Yeah. Yes, the main bad guys are of an ethnic of an ethnicity. Yeah. They are. It's also established that the guy has no allegiance to any terrorist cause. No. He sells arms. And yes, I would say, probably would have been a better idea if they just made him a white guy. And then that would have stopped all that shit straight away. But it is what it is.
I don't know, I just think people would have found a different reason to argue with that. It would then have been, oh look, it's a white guy who's profiteering off all of these wars. It'd have been that or something like that had gone to it. It'd have been another argument. And
it is a case of you can't, you slightly can't win.
And if you're holding up a film like London Has Fallen as any kind of political touchstone, you are picking the wrong fucking movie. Because this movie also has a gay president joke, which I laughed out loud.
Oh, I was wondering when you'd finally come out of the closet.
Did it come out of the closet? Yeah, brilliant. that team up with Fuckheadistan was a bit like, do you know what? Fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, this is the... Sorry, I just had a text off Don saying Lottie's asleep, so can I keep it down? Sorry, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean... I laughed a lot at that, and I also like the right. You do this, you do this, you do this. What if you don't come back? Then you're fucked. Like that,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I need. I mean, this is the thing, man. It is a film for like steak eaters. It's. I think Birth Movies Death said a bag full of sloppy red meat or something like that. And it is. And if you're not into that, you are not going to enjoy this film. Yeah. If you are into that, you'll have a good time. Do I think it's racist? No. Do I think it's made in an environment where racial tensions are very, very high, and this film maybe could have done things differently to avert it from those criticisms on occasion? But do I think it's the racist America hoorah fuck yeah patriotism fest that everyone else seems to be thinking it is? Not really. It's an action film.
No, and actually it doesn't it very much sort of sets its stall out of kind of saying, well, they did kind of strike first.
Yeah, and I mean, this is also a point. They did antagonise the guy, and the first film makes that very, very clear. But it does also say they didn't know something was going on. Now, maybe you could take that as some sort of meta comment for the fact that they did know what was going on. Who knows? I don't think there are too many layers to this particular onion.
There are. I mean, a great point that I thought was fantastic was the stereotypical Italian Prime Minister who is taking his 30-year-old life.
There you go. It's like, what, why aren't people offended by that? Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, that was yeah, that was very, very stereotypical as well. And also, I mean, I've got to say, I like Mark Kermode. You know I like Mark Kermode. I was listening to his review this morning, and he was saying that the what you made out of whiskey and bourbon and poor choices, he was saying, I don't think that line's supposed to be laughed at. It's like, what? And he was saying, I don't think that's supposed to be a joke. So, no, what? You actually think he's saying his life is bourbon and poor choices? What? I don't know. It is a joke.
Because his life isn't that. He's about to have a child with a woman he loves.
Yeah. There are jokes in this film, and yes, they're not just like, ha ha ha, look how shit that is. They're actually jokes. I don't see what the problem is. I mean, it doesn't do anything exceptional, London Has Fallen, but it's got shit of interest. I will say the CG is the fucking worst. I will agree with that.
It's ropey, isn't it?
That the CG in the like everything exploding in London, it looks fucking horrible. It straight up looks like someone has almost like just put like a PlayStation 2 animation over it or something. I mean, those effects look horrible. I do wonder, in a way, whether there's maybe an intention there to maybe not actually make it look super, super real so that it actually gets people thinking. Maybe that's me thinking a bit too much about it. But if it was really, really, really realistic looking, maybe it would be a bit too disturbing, and maybe there's an uncanny valleyness to it. Maybe I'm thinking too much about this. I probably am.
I think it was just the fact is this movie cost $60 million rather than $100 million.
Yeah. No, quite. But I mean, the direction I thought was interesting. You could see what was going on all the fucking time. Yeah. That seemingly one take bit
was very good. Yeah,
was really, really well done. There are moments of style of action direction style in this film, which I think are interesting.
I like the fact that it hands over the end of the story. It goes from where you think, that the president gets back there. It doesn't end there. It goes, but here's the other end of the story. Here's the other wrap up where you get what's the name? Charlotte Riley, essentially getting the bad mole on the inside. I thought she was very good in it, actually. Charlotte,
man.
She was very good in it.
Yeah,
it was nice to have somebody playing a role, that kind of role, that didn't have a clipped British accent.
Yeah, nice and northern.
Yeah.
It
was quite sort of refreshing, because usually, you'd think, you have a very clipped, Oxbridge accent that's going to come in there, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, wait a minute, she's not putting on a voice. That's quite refreshing, that, actually.
Yeah.
But it's that type of movie. It's big, it's bad, it's stupid, it's dumb, but it's also quite a lot of fun.
And
really.
It's also 99 minutes long.
Yeah, it is. Gets its shit done and gets the fuck out.
Which, you can't say that about a lot of action films. It's about 20, I think it's 20 minutes shorter than the first one. And it doesn't need to be any longer than it is. I mean, like I say, I'm not gonna shout from the heavens that it's one of the best action films of the year or anything like that. But in terms of utterly redundant action sequels, it's really, it's an upper tier of that particular category.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a strange one in the fact that I don't think this film would have ever have made it to sequel level, or would have ever made it to the similes that it's kind of garnered, if it hadn't made a shitload of money the first one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The first one was a surprise success. It's done very well on like home entertainment and whatnot. It's got one of the best lines in an action film of recent years, and there's nothing in this film that matches that. Though I mean, I'll be honest, what if you don't come back? You're fucked. Like, exchange was
great.
It was pretty like just so soon after I was wondering when you come out of the closet thing. It's like fair fucking play. I mean, so Olympus Has Fallen did 161 worldwide off of a $70 million budget. That's not great.
No, it's not great, but he did a fuckload on home media.
Yeah, that's
he did over 100 million home media.
Yeah, exactly. And now you've got London Has Fallen, which did... I mean, it opened number one over here. It did all right in the US. 21 million it opened at in the US on a 60 million budget. That fucker's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
You know, I mean, oh God, the tagline, prepare for bloody hell.
Yeah.
Like, that's fantastic. This film and this franchise, I think, do have it slightly more tongue-in-cheek than that people seem to be okay with accepting.
The fact that one of the TV spots was "It's about to get stabby."
Yeah, that shit's about to get stabby.
Yeah,
and then it cuts, and I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck.
Where did that even come from?
I know,
but it's a wonderful line.
I know, and it's actually started a thing at work now where someone asks me if I'm something, and then I say I'm something as fuck.
Yeah, it is great.
Like somebody actually turned to me in work this afternoon and said, "Ian, are you hungry?" And I just looked at them and I went, "I'm hungry as fuck." You know, it's I don't know. It's dumb. It's fun. It's probably full of cum.
Yeah.
But I had a really good time with it. Again, I was rocking a hangover. It was my double bill. I watched Hail Caesar, had some lunch, walked back in for London Has Fallen, and a guy behind me when the credits rolled, first thing he said was, "That was better than the first one." Be like, "Yeah, I think you're probably right there."
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as the first one, but I wouldn't argue with him. Let's say that.
No, I mean, it's not as many stabbings, but the violence is still pretty gruey. That fucking bit where it's in that car chase and the motorcyclist is like, his head's in the car and he's like, "Fuck you."
Fuck me. Such a whole setup. It's a very vindictive movie at points.
Yeah, no, I mean that was, you know, it was great. I mean,
he does sort of revel in the cause of other people painness of it.
Yeah, it does, you know,
which it's supposed to, I think.
This is the thing. I mean, like, in the end of the day, Mike Banning, he's really fucking pissed off that this shit's happening.
Yeah.
I've got to save the president, but for fuck's sake, my kid's going to be born in a few days. I don't need this shit. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You know, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's all, I don't know. It's like it's the id of, like, I don't know, expectant fathers everywhere. It's just like, look, just let me get through my shit. I want to get back to my wife and my kid. You know, just fuck off. You know, like, this feels like that film, and it's surprisingly cathartic. I found the violence in this, and I don't know what that says about me, and maybe it was because of the hangover, but I had a perfectly decent time with this, and I think that there are people who need to calm their shit down.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's definitely not shit from me.
Definitely not shit.
So yeah, I don't think there will be a third, but I'd happily watch one if one appeared.
It would be great if it was Banning Has Fallen and Aaron Eckhart has to save him.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Or fucking, I don't know, America Has Fallen, and it's just it's just Trump, and he's got to kill Trump.
Or if it's just, Mike Banning just, like, going around America starting shit.
Stabbing people.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. That'd be
right,
amazing.
Questions, we have a couple. Ethan Barr reviews, M-Bar Films. So, which of the movies being made within Hail Caesar do you wish you could watch for real? The Channing Tatum one, because I'd happily watch Channing Tatum in an old school musical. And apparently he's making one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Which I will watch happily.
Yeah, I'd go with that. If it was Clooney's character actually performing in Hail Caesar, I'd watch that as well, because it was him and Clancy Brown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'd watch them walking around with each other for a couple of hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would, yeah, to be honest. Rich Kid, his most memorable moments, ask people for the memorable moments, he was the only person who gave us one, and it was my snake in a duffel bag story. So go back and listen to old episodes, because there's 149 of them out there for you to get through. But he says, in the 150 shows, what was the one you most enjoyed reviewing?
Oh, fuck me.
Sicario was a fun review because it was as to Mike and John, as to Noel and Jord.
Yeah, that was a good one, actually.
That was a fun review of like getting the whole band back together.
I enjoyed the Force Awakens review.
I did as well. Yeah, that was a review.
Yeah.
There's been a few that we've done that I've enjoyed. Dracula was fun to do because of the fact that we were both just so.
Oh my god!
What the hell is this?
That, didn't we?
Yeah. What else was good that we reviewed?
Pretty sure that was the weekend I got Donna pregnant.
Was it?
Yeah, just throwing that out there.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I can remember that one has been a fun review to do. What else was good? We've had quite a lot of good ones done over the years.
Yeah.
The Oscar shows were always quite good to do.
Yeah, Oscar Basin. It was a shame we couldn't do that this year.
Yeah.
I missed that.
We didn't review it, but our commentary of both Alex Cross and
The
Alex Cross. No, The Guest was good. What else was there? Was the Schwarzenegger one we did? Conan. We did what is it for Conan? That was great. That one.
We need to do another commentary soon.
We do need to do another commentary at some point soon. Yeah. When we've got a gap week, we'll do a commentary.
Yeah.
So that was it. So yes, that was episode 150. People. We're covering The Witch next week, I believe, Ian. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There's not a whole heck of a lot out because there's no fucking way you're getting me to watch Anomalisa again.
I'm not fussed.
There's I'm genuinely I'm already thinking I'm just gonna have to skip all the bloody film podcasts this week.
Why? Because you'll be there going, no.
If it wasn't Charlie Kaufman, no one would like it. Yeah. It's white man problems. Spoiler alert. I think I might have said this last week, but spoiler alert. Man goes to hotel, fucks a woman who's a fan of his, goes a bit mad, goes home and is pissed off that he has a wife and a kid, and people pull a surprise party for him, and he's miserable. Great. 90 minutes of that. Awesome. Thanks. Well done, Charlie Kaufman, for that fucking insight.
Sounds a blast. I'm not fussed by it. But I'm intrigued by the... Well, I don't know whether I'm intrigued by The Witch, but I'll happily watch it, is what I'll say. Yeah. That's been episode 150. dudeandamonkey@gmail.com, @dudeandamonkey, the YouTube channel, which there'll be stuff on, even though Let's Get Physical's not going to be there anymore. There'll still be bits on it. Ian did a brilliant gaming thing of a game called Broforce, that's it, yeah, which was incredible, looked fantastic. And there'll be other stuff sort of cropping up on there, so keep an eye on that, and obviously keep listening to the podcast, and we shall speak to you next week.